The peppers, they just don't look that good anyway. It's a much bigger task than I originally was planning to do. Did y'all see all the plants that came out of that bed? This is where I've had my most success with growing carrots, is in a bag. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. Tonight, I have a plan for the strawberry bed. I have a plan for the strawberry bed that I think is going to save me from having runners, a whole bunch of runners every year. I think it's gonna save me from having strawberries that get eaten up by pill bugs and snails and slugs too. It's a much bigger task than I originally was planning to do, which was to just thin the strawberries. So let me show you the strawberry patch. This is the strawberry patch that we talk about in every garden tour that I keep saying I have not thinned. But we're not just gonna thin them. We're gonna pull every strawberry out of this bed tonight, and then we're gonna cover the bed with some landscape fabric. Then we're only gonna plant 10 more back in there. So here's the thing. I feel like if the ground is covered, that the runners won't be able to actually set their roots down and I can just pull them throughout the season. I also feel like if the strawberries fall onto the landscape fabric, then they won't be getting mushy and things when it rains. So this is a much bigger task than I originally thought, but I was laying in bed and I was like, you know what? I can do that. And then I immediately ran out to the garden. Oh, additionally, it does not feel like we're going to get like really warm anytime soon. So not on this video, but probably the next one, we are pulling the peppers because like, I think today we were in the high 60s and I think then we're going to like maybe in the 50s. But either way, I think I saw some 70s sometime next week, but I'm not playing no games because once it gets cold, I'm just not going to be out here working. I will absolutely be out here. I will be showing you what's going on in the garden, but working, having my hands in this soil and stuff, not going to happen. So the peppers, they just don't look that good anyway. So we're not going to continue to try to hold on to this. We're going to harvest what is harvestable, green and all, and then we're going to pull the peppers out, y'all. And I'm hopeful to have that done this week. But let's get to the strawberry bed because it is about, where is my phone? It's 5:12. You know, it gets dark around like 6-ish now. Well, little after 6, but right at 7, something like that. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to put you in speed up mode. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig down so that I can grab the whole root of the strawberry because like I said, I'm also willing to share them. And then I'm going to put them into a container. And hopefully tonight I can get the landscape fabric down and the 10 that I want to keep. I want to get that all back in tonight. And then tomorrow we can work on the peppers. So that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was gonna take. I'm super excited about that. I'm gonna go and get the landscape fabric. We're gonna lay it. I don't have any pins right now, but I'm gonna use the bags to hold it down and then I will get some pins. Thing is, I also don't have anything to make holes in the fabric, so I'm probably just gonna try and cut it somehow, some way, but I wanna get it measured and cut and put down here first, and then I'll figure that out. But that didn't take nearly as long, but did y'all see all the plants that came out of that bed? I'm surprised I was getting any strawberries because that was way overcrowded. Okay, so we got the plastic down. Super excited. This literally did not take me much of any time. And now I'm just gonna cut the 10 holes that I want for the plants that I want to keep, and I'm gonna plant them back out here. The water will run through it, so it should be fine. Like I said, I need to get some more pins, but it's fine. We'll worry about pins later. So we essentially want 5 back here. I'm just gonna cut some holes, y'all. My son gonna kill me. Cutting down into this soil with his knife. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we'll probably do 11. 4 in the front, 3 in the middle, and 4 in the back. Do we think this is gonna mess up his blade? Hope not. Like I said, we'll get some pins later, but I'm really trying to avoid this next year. It might work, it might not, but it's definitely worth a try. I'm gonna add another one over here. So we're essentially keeping 12 at this point. Because I just feel like there's enough space for 12 plants. It's not enough space for 50 or so that came out this bed. So I'm looking, I probably could put another one in here. I'm thinking maybe another one in here too. Yeah, I might do that. We're gonna see, we're gonna see. We're gonna probably do some more cuts real quick. So my holes aren't even, but it looks like we're keeping about 15, which is fine with me. I think 15 works. It is definitely much better than what I had. And then also the runners won't be able to set, I don't think. I know they'll set in the other bed. They'll try to set around here, but that's doable during the summer. Like just them setting everywhere is not doable for me. No clue what I did with my gloves. We should be all right. So now I'm just gonna go through here and drop the crayons back in these holes. And when you're planting strawberries, make sure you do not cover this middle section. That's where your new strawberry is gonna come out of. Yeah, I gotta find my gloves, I'll be back. Found them. All right, get them back in here now. Whew, this is gonna be so much better, I believe. There won't be as much competition, so there'll be space for them to grow bigger. I won't have to do this next year, I hope. And it'll be much easier, like I said, for me to get the runners throughout the year. Y'all, I love it. I absolutely love it. It looks so neat right now. I can't wait to see what it looks like next spring. But right now, it just looks so neat and like this is gonna be better. Like this is gonna be so much better, I do believe. So I'm excited that I was laying in bed and thought about this, and it didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was gonna be. Like a lot of the roots weren't very deep, probably because they couldn't get into the soil. But super excited. Let me show you if you live in my area. I am in Virginia. I'm close enough to Richmond, so use the proximity of Richmond if you're interested. Next week I will start to meet and give these away. Oh, y'all, why was all of these plants, look at the chicken, look at the chicken, is she eating the leaves? Anyway, why was all of these plants in that one little bed? A mess. And if you remember last year, I thinned those plants. I thinned them before, I think at the end of fall last year. I thinned them and they all just came back. Strawberries are one of them plants, they gonna grow, okay? Okay, so since that did not take long at all, we started at like 5:12. It's 6:23, so that was like a little over an hour. And with all of that stuff that was in that bed, I'm very surprised. So since we have a little bit of light left, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to thin the carrots. So listen, there's a lot of carrots in this one bag. If I'm honest, I've seen people say that when they thin their carrots, they replant them. I've never done that. I really do want to try. I do think that we're gonna lose sun though, so I'm not gonna really have time to do that. But if you replant your carrots when you thin them, tell me about that in the comments, because I'm interested in that. I really am. Okay, so we have a bunch of carrots in this bag. I just took them and kind of sewed them all over the bag, knowing that I was gonna come back and thin them. So basically what I'm gonna do is where I see 2 carrots close together or a bunch of carrots close together, I'm gonna pull the smallest ones personally. And like, see, there's little tiny carrots growing, but they will all be little tiny carrots if I don't thin this bag. So they were growing, that makes me excited. So I'm just gonna leave that one right there. I think in a bag this size you can grow about 16 carrots. This is where I've had my most success with growing carrots, is in a bag. And so I reverted back to that this year. I reverted back to it because I just want to get some carrots, and I'm not trying to leave them in a line. I'm just trying to leave them not close to each other. And so you can use carrot tops. I think people use them to make like pesto, carrot top pesto. And since I'm in my era of learning new things, I'm going to do the same. So I'm gonna try to use these to make carrot top pesto. Don't know what that tastes like, but is worth a try. Do you have a carrot top pesto recipe? Because I do not. And if you do, I would greatly appreciate it. Or have you tasted it before? Like, what are your thoughts on it? What does it taste like? I know it's a thing. I've heard people say it. Oh my goodness, there's so many in this spot. I'm so happy to be getting to this stuff. These were like my last little things that I need to do aside from pulling the peppers. So I'm very excited to be getting to it. The cold weather may have pushed me a little bit because I just cannot do the cold. I cannot do it, y'all. There's like 3 growing right there together. If you remember, I oversowed this bag because the carrot seeds were old, but I guess their germination rate hadn't gone down much because there's so many carrots in this bag. And these are like 3 really nice sized ones right beside each other. Really don't want to pull them because they're such a nice size. You know what we're gonna do? Gonna experiment with multi-sowing. In that little patch right here, we're gonna experiment to see what happens there. And if you're not new here, you know I struggle with pulling root vegetables way too early. I'm gonna do my best, like I did with my potatoes, not to pull these carrots too early. So we'll see how that goes. So pretty much my to-do list right there. Kind of the end. The only other thing, like I said, is I need to pull the peppers. So those are the carrot tops that we have to make us some carrot top pesto. Don't know what it's gonna taste like, but I know that it's a thing. And so now the carrots have been thinned, and that's all that's gonna grow in this bag this season. It'll fill back out as the carrots start to grow, but they needed that space, they needed that room to be able to grow 1 carrot in a space instead of growing a whole bunch of carrots. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Well, we are losing light, and so I'm gonna go inside. This is probably a pretty short video considering a lot of it was in speed up mode, but it was something that I needed to get done. I figured that I would share it with you all. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in the garden almost every day. I can't wave. Bye, y'all.